Alright guys, so here is another fun three-way crossover for you guys, and that is Randy Cunningham, Ladybug, and Candyman. So I swear this is going to make sense. I swear this is going to make sense in some capacity. Just bear with me, okay? Just bear with me. So this story is more or less takes place in Paris, and the students of Norrisville High have been sent over to Paris as a student exchange program, and everyone's off having fun. And the other thing is, well, if no one's in the city, who's protecting Norrisville if Randy's not there? Well, basically, the source. This is after season 2, so the sorcerer is gone. And McFist, if there's no ninja around, he's going to realize, oh, then there's no point of making robots. I'm just going to go back to making business until whenever the ninja pops up. Okay. So they're all there. They're having fun. Randy and Howard become friends with Nino and Adrian. And Alia and Marinette become friends with Teresa and Debbie. Now, the thing is that Teresa and Randy have had a... Now, what's happened is that Randy's kind of trying to get over it, and he's also encountered Alia. He's also, been enamored by Alia, and this is also where Alia's also broken up a while ago with Nino, so... Yeah, it's kind of in that so it's kind of a different continuity. So Randy and Ollie are kind of striking up a romance, and it's funny because Howard and Marinette, even though they don't like each other, are pushing their two friends to get they're pushing their two friends together. Even though Marinette thinks Howard is a slob, and Marinette thinks Howard is a slob who is also a mooch off of his best friend. And Howard thinks Marinette is a spaz who has a creepy obsession with the blonde kid. So, but they don't like each other, but they love their friends, so they push Randy and Alia closer together, and the two start hanging out. Now you're wondering, where does the Candyman story part of this take place? So, at one night during a party at Chloe's home in her suite, because Chloe's a lot more mellow because she's an actual fucking character in my stories. Everyone's having a lot of fun, and they're all talking about scary stories because it's the fall and Halloween time, and they're all talking about and then Julian brings up the story of Candyman. He brings up the story of that character, and Marinette and everyone at the school, the French students, are yeah, we've heard that story. That's kind of one of those things like Bloody Mary or the Slitmouth Woman, where you've heard those folklore and legends from all over the world, and they're just so popular. So we know that story, and Julian is then I dare you to say his name. Call him. Call the man. Call the man with the hook with the hand 5 times in the mirror. And Randy goes, no. We're not doing that. We're not... And everyone thinks, oh, Randy's being a pussy. It's funny, Cunningham's being a pussy. And then Bash and Yvonne go to the bathroom to say the name 5 times... But Randy, stops them, he shoves them out, and he's no, you're not doing this, and he's getting really aggressive about it. And people are thinking, it's just a story, dude, you don't have to be scared of it. It's just a story. There's no such thing as Candyman. He's no, but that's the point. I can't, there's more to this. That was based off of a real dude. And he's getting angry about it, and then he just storms off, and Alia... concerned goes out, it's hey, what was that? You seem really upset about that. Was Daniel Robitaille a real person? He's yeah, he was. He was also, Randy then reveals he goes, yeah, he was my great-great-grandfather. So he is the Candyman's great-great-grandson. His mother was Isabel from the third movie. So Isabel who was the daughter from Farewell to Flesh, the daughter of the character from Farewell to Flesh, and then Day of the Dead was the third one. Farewell to Flesh was the second one. Got it. They're both really they're both really bad. You can't blame me for mixing them up. But yeah, so Randy reveals to Alia, I've never told anyone this because, yeah, my mom was always freaked out and ashamed of the legend, but she always made it seem like there was more to that legend. Like, she always said, like, oh, it was just a story, and Daniel Robitaille was a good person. He's just been forever marked by this, and she always said, don't talk about it, or else they're just going to call you at school the son of Candyman. That's all they're going to call you. But at the same time, Randy tells Alia, you know, she always said that was the reason, never to really talk about Robitaille, but it always felt like there was more to it. So, when that little door is now open, that little door of, like, talking about him and, like, bringing him up and, like, bringing up that kind of almost cultish following, like, just talking about him is, like, getting that attention. And at night, when Randy goes back to the little hotel suites they're staying at, he has a nightmare of being Robitaille. Like he's in that position that Robitaille was, of being hunted down by the lynch mob and getting his hand cut off with a hook in there, bees all over him. He looks in the mirror, he sees Robitaille, Daniel Robitaille, in the mirror reaching out for him. And that's when he freaks out, and he's like, oh my god, holy shit. And at first he's just thinking that was a nightmare, because we were talking about Candyman. It's nothing. We're good. I'm fine. I'm good. So as the story, like, everyone's talking about, like, because Alia didn't reveal it. Like, Alia kept that to herself, and even, like, Randy reveals, I never told that story to anyone. Not even Howard knows about that story. So they're getting closer, obviously. But at the same time, like, Randy's noticing, like, bees closer to him. Like, bees are, like, flying around him when he's outside, or when he's alone, he hears, like something scraping against the window, like a hook going against the window. So he's starting to be like, is there something more to this? And at the same time, he decides, all right, you know what? I just need to relax. I'm gonna go out and just be the ninja. Just be the ninja. And Howard's like, that's a bad idea, dude. There's going to be questions if the ninja of Norrisville is in Paris while there are Norrisville kids here. People are going to start thinking. So, yeah. He's like, I'm a ninja. It'll be fine. I'm just going to swing through the city. I am just going to, just to clear my head, I'm just going to... what's the worst that could happen? So he's swinging around the city and runs right into Reina Rouge, who's like, holy shit. And Randy's response is, oh boy. So Reina's like, okay, you're the ninja, and there's Norrisville kids here. And he's like, and she thinks, like, did you come here to protect these kids? And he's like, yes, that's exactly what I did, fellow superhero. That's totally what I did. I'm not one of them. I'm here. I'm just looking out for the kids, you know? Like Mr. T. Watch out for them kids. And then Reina goes, you're one of the students, aren't you? she thinks about it for more than half a second and goes, so which one are you? He's like, which one am I what? Which one of the students? I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, so at that point, they hear, during this conversation, they hear a scream in the middle of the night, and find later on, they just come upon a dead body who has been gutted from the groin to the stomach. And they're like, oh my god, that I've never seen, neither of them are, prepared to see a dead body, because neither of them were fucking prepared to see a dead body to begin with. So they're already like, holy shit, that's a dead body. And in the mirror, Randy notices, an image in the mirror, just real quick, of the Candyman. And he's like, he doesn't want to say anything because he thinks he's going crazy, and he's just letting the story get to him. So the ninja is just like, look, I will help you, But we'll figure this out. Maybe this was done by a supervillain. Like, he thinks, like, he's starting to put together that maybe it's not really the real Candyman. Maybe someone got akumatized and took on the persona of Candyman. Kind of like when Kagami's mom became the Kikari Gosen. So Randy's introduced the other heroes because Alia, who is also on like a night patrol, because she's been like, oh god, am I getting too deep with Randy? Oh my god, and she was just out there more or less doing the same thing of just trying to have like a little night patrol to clear her head, and they ran into each other. So now Rain is like, I gotta make a call to any superheroes out there. So Ladybug and Cat Noir arrive, and she's like, okay, this is the ninja. He came via magic to protect the students of Norrisville, and there's something weird going on. And already, because Adrian and Marinette are complete fucking morons, are like, oh yeah, you guys arrived by magic. You're totally here to help protect the kids. And he's like, we're sticking with that story. So they're trying to figure out throughout this story if it's really Candyman, or if it's, because they're going under the assumption that someone got akumatized by Hawkmoth, and it's someone pretending to be, like, it's a fake Candyman. But as the story progresses, it is really Daniel Robitaille. It is really Daniel Robitaille's spirit who has come here to see his grandson, to see his great grandson. And he's actually like, when they confront Robitaille as a team, Marinette goes like, "Why are you here?" And he points his hook at Randy and goes, "I came for you." I can't do Tony Todd. I can't do a good Tony Todd impression. So it's really hard to fight this being, because it's literally a ghost or a mythological thing, because it could just teleport away. It could just like become a swarm of bees. He's using bees to attack them. He's like teleporting in between mirrors, and he's already getting the drop on them until he grabs Randy and pulls him away. And Randy, like, he uses the hook to yank his mask off when they're just alone. And Randy's like, "Why are you doing this, man? I'm your grandson. If you really are who you say you are, I'm your grandson. And why do you want to hurt me?" And he's like, Robitaille's like, "I don't want to hurt you. I'm you called me. You and those stupid kids called me here, and now because of your arrogance, I am here to shed innocent blood." And to which Randy's like, "No, I'm not going to let you do that." And he's like, "Well, you can't really stop me because we are of the same blood, so that part of me is in you. You know what they did to me. They know that hate. That kind of hatred that has been put upon me, and all they'll ever know is to fear me." And then to which Randy's like, and then Candyman leaves, and leaving Randy with essentially like an idea. He's like, "I got an idea to beat him, because it is the real deal." So basically, he more or less, Randy, with Alia's help and research, put out this story on her blog site of the real story of Daniel Robitaille. Because all they know is just the sensationalized version of it. But they put out all of what happened of his love for Isabel, the original one, his great-great-grandmother, his wife. The child they had in secret. Everything. Like, they don't bring up the myth. They just talk about, they talk about the man behind the myth. And in Randy's mind, he's like, this is how I stop him. Because you can't really stop a spirit. You can't really stop him. We don't really have a thermos to throw in the ghost zone, okay? So his thinking is, maybe we can give him peace. Like, if we tell them, we don't talk about the monster, we talk about the man. And, give him that closure. Because he's literally just a vengeful spirit. So they talk about his life, his paintings, his pain, the love he had when he was lynched. And like they go into real detail about it, not to like glorify it, but more like I want to have this moment where Chloe's like reading through it, and it's like she's reading how Robitaille was lynched, and just puts the phone down and goes, I need a minute. Yeah. So that's kind of how Randy thinks that's gonna win, and how it works. And he even sees like an image of his grandfather, like just kind of like staring through a reflection and going. But of course, that's not how this works. This ain't a lovey-dovey ending, because, yeah, as long as people say that name 5 times, he's gonna keep killing. The legend's gonna continue. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much my 3-way crossover. And yes, Randy and Alia do get together. Yay! Anyway, so there you go, guys. That is pretty much my 3-way crossover. I hope you all enjoyed this. As always, if you haven't already, go check out my link in the Patreon to my Patreon to get some exclusive content. And if you want to, hit the 4th tier, and you guys can send me requests for Patreon videos. But other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.